Welcome back to the No News, Just Facts podcast. Do you understand that conform is rented and truth is owned? There's a moment in adulthood when you realize you've been shrinking to maintain peace. You laugh at things you don't find funny. You co-sign mediocrity. But why? Because comfort feels better than friction. Lies reduce cognitive dissonance instantly. Truth increases tension before it creates freedom. Isolation is the transitional tax. Truth doesn't free you instantly. It evicts you first. Let's apply that to the culture. So the NBA All-Star Weekend came and went. It was once mythology. Now, dunk contest was hella early. That's number one. Number two, let's see here. No, I didn't get a chance to cover this before, but man, just the dunk contest was so mediocre, bro. Like, it's not even the same as what I remember it to be back when I was younger. You know, the excitement of how the dunk contest used to be versus like nowadays. I mean, the last dunk contest I even remotely cared about was, if I remember correctly, like, bro, look at this. Dunks are so average now. Like, man, it's so like the dunk contest hasn't been interesting in a long time. Not since Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine was in it. It hasn't really been that interesting in a long time, to be honest with you. It's just, everything just feels forced. It's so weird, you know, sometimes, to say the least. Just for fun. I mean, the thing that really makes the dunk contest so weak, and I don't understand why they never change it, is that there's no like actual superstars in the dunk contest. I don't know why they keep doing this. Like, stop putting rookies, sophomores in this thing. And like, that's the only way you can make it more exciting. It would be better off to just get like actual superstars to make it interesting, to get more eyeballs on it, because at this rate, there's no point even keeping the dunk contest around, to be honest with you. Like, all these subpar dunks, bro. And I know y'all are out there like, oh, what does he know? You can't do no better. I mean, you're right, I can't do better, but I've been watching contests for a long time, and I come from the era of Iverson, Kobe, Dirk, Duncan, Michael Redd, Tracy McGrady. I come from that era of basketball. And even in that time, dunk contests were exciting. David Stern might have not been the greatest NBA commissioner, but he knew how to make a dunk contest exciting by adding like stars. They didn't go off of this basis of, oh yeah, let's add the rookies to the dunk contest. It wasn't based on, oh hey, let's just make it possible for the rookies and the sophomores to be the ones in these dunk contests. You get the results you get, you know, lackluster views and less people talking about it, less people caring about it. That was actually nice. I'm not gonna lie. That would have been nice. I mean, if he would have executed that correctly, but you know, it is what it is, I guess, on that aspect of things. They should really change it up though, for real. I mean, like, there should be like a prize or an incentive or something like that, you know, to you know, like how when you're talking about like don't they have like a play-in tournament or something like that? Don't they get like an incentive? You know, even though those people who are in the play-in tournament are not going to the playoffs, they still, you know, get some type of incentive if they win the play-in. That should be applied here too. And let me see here. Trying to stick with the NBA for a second. Sticking with the NBA. The NBA doesn't need new dunks. It needs new like courage. It needs new life to it, you know? And courage is hard when your brand is fragile. It's very hard to put eyeballs on a product when you see that it's declining and you're not really trying to do anything about it. You're still, you know, you're still going to make money anyway. And that's the thing I think is going on with Adam Silver. He knows that there are declines in the product of the NBA, but he's not really doing anything to change that. You know, I wish I had time to talk about, what's his name, Giannis having a share in the Couchy app. You know, if y'all don't remember, what's it called? Some people who were connected to the NBA all just got raided and taken by the feds. But it's okay for Giannis, not to say Giannis should go to jail, but how is it okay for Giannis to have a share in the Couchy app, but they got to go to, all those other people had to go to jail or get picked up by the feds? I wish I had time to talk about it, but I don't. So another thing I want to talk about, and keeping with going into the NBA. Kevin Durant. So he's already like fired all of his crew or whatever that are part of his boardroom company. I guess he fired all those people, but there have been alleged talks of him having a burner account. Reports are swirling about him saying inappropriate remarks on these burner accounts. We don't overstate, we don't frame it responsibly, but the psychology is public identity fractures people. Public self, private self, anonymous self. Katie got burners like he's prepping for winter. When you can't speak honestly, you fragment. Truth isolates athletes. Too. Whether it's true, whether it's not true, it would much rather be better, you know, since we live in a society where, I mean, I do understand that Kevin Durant is an athlete and anything he says can and will be used against him by the court of public opinion. I get that, but at the same time, bro, come on, dude, you're still part of the game. You're still a voice that matters. So whatever you have to say about people, say what you need to say it. How is it that LeBron James can go and say what he wants to say? You know, granted, he's old now, but now he's a little bit more comfortable to a point where he can say some of the stuff he wants to say that's on his heart, you know? Maybe not the way that we want him to say it, but he says it. So if he can do it, why can't you? You're a veteran in the league. Say how you feel, you know? Don't hide behind some burner accounts if that is the truth, you know. The internet laughs at burners, but burners are a symptom of emotional isolation. And isolation leads to defensive language, which is what is being alleged to be said about Kevin Durant and what he's saying about other athletes or other veterans or whoever it may be. But I digress on that. Hopefully, maybe one day Kevin Durant addresses this. I mean, from what I've heard, he hasn't really said anything about it. He's, you know, ignored the question, or, you know, if it's not about, you know, it's like that thing where it's like, if it's not about basketball, don't ask me about it. So, I mean, maybe we may never know. But moving on, Kevin Nash said some very, 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 very disparaging things about one wrestler by the name of Javon Evans. He said something along the lines of Javon Evans is too Mr. Bojangles and he would like to see him be more urban, which urban is just code word for ghetto or ratchet. It's crazy that he would say this stuff during Black History Month. You know, it's a little crazy to me, because I would expect better from somebody like Kevin Nash, because Kevin Nash is out here sticking it to Trump supporters and as per regular scheduled programming. And then somehow his apology turned into, oh hey, let me find that. I wish I could. Let me find the apology real quick, because it was, let me look for it real quick. Hold on, just give me a second here, because the apology is way worse than what he said on his podcast. I'm just kind of like, dude, what is your deal? What are you even doing? Trying to find the apology is even harder, because it seems like they scrubbed it off the internet, which is so weird. If it was scrubbed from the internet, it wasn't that far back, like maybe 2 or 3 days ago, where he apologized, and then all of a sudden after that, wish I could find the, let me see, it might be right here on No DQ. Okay, so I think this is it right here. Let me see. There was another apology that he had did, but he deleted that apology because I can find that. What he alluded to saying originally is, between the apology, before he apologized, he started talking about Uncle Tom for some reason. I don't understand why he went into talking about Uncle Tom. And then it was just like, all right, well, you could have just left out Uncle Tom and just said, hey, I messed up, said some very poor words, very distasteful words to a young man that I think is a phenomenal talent in the wrestling world. And you should have left it at that. When someone says, funny how I'm the only one paying attention to Black talent, this is part of what he said, that's ego protecting itself. Language reveals subconscious bias. The overjuncture, the overall of this is that it was taken out of context. And he should have just, you can't intellectualize your way out of impact. And hip hop does this too. So I mean, Kevin Nash just needs to do better, you know? I mean, but everybody was on top of his head about that. Those Mr. Bojangle, more urban comments. But what do you expect? It's wrestling. That's what happens. Bro, it's wrestling. Wrestling is a very, I'm gonna just say it, a very white dominated entity that just happens to have Samoans and black people and Asians and Hispanics. It just happens to have those people in that entity that is popular. It might not be, people say that wrestling is fake. Of course, it's scripted. So is basketball, so is football, so is everything else. But it's one of the entities that people enjoy as a medium. So now what I'm going to get into next is, so LaRussell made some comments about Lil Wayne. Let's see if I can find the clip of that real quick to see what he said. Trying to find it real quick. Am I gonna find it? Okay, here it is. Right here. It's right here. Okay, well, gotta go back. Hold on. Come on.
A bad influence. Let's get into the debate.
I had grew a disdain for Wayne. I started listening to everything like this nigga wasn't talking about nothing. And I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something? You don't have to test me like engaged. And out of 1,000 song catalog, it's minute on this scene.
What's your favorite? And do you think his
I agree with that, honestly. Lil Wayne has like thousands. Lil Wayne has dozens of songs, bro. I don't know if I agree with that thus far, honestly. I mean, it's weird because LaRussell critiques Wayne. He receives backlash, which is weird coming from those are the same voices, by the way, who said that Lil Wayne didn't deserve to perform at the Super Bowl. Imagine that. Do you see the selectiveness here? Same people who said that he didn't deserve the Super Bowl are defending him against LaRussell when LaRussell says that Lil Wayne wasn't saying nothing on a lot of his songs. I don't agree with him. I think on a multitude of songs, Lil Wayne was saying, piques your interest in his catalog. He has a lot of music, and we're not even counting all of the mixtape songs that were leaked. There's so much music from Lil Wayne, and you can't just diminish it and minimalize it into one compartment based off of whatever you've heard, whatever you know. I mean, because it's too much music. Lil Wayne has literally too much music to search through and look through and find like actual lyrical songs. But people want emotional loyalty, not critical consistency. Hip hop discourse ain't about bars. It's about jerseys. We don't defend quality. We defend affiliation. Love and be tired of somebody at the same time. But that's the way hip hop is. They'll defend the honor of somebody and still be like, yeah, he's trash. He sucks. He's garbage. It's so weird because I've said Lil Wayne hasn't really lost a step. But I mean, rap will forever be a young man's game. It will never be an old man's game. Regardless of, if the older generation of rap has a amazing year or however it is, it just goes without saying. That's just what it is. It's a young man's sport, and it's unfortunately the sport can outgrow whoever the rapper is, and that's why they get pushed. All the older rappers get pushed off to the side, and the newer acts get put up on a pedestal. It's the God's honest truth. It is what it is, though. Funniest part is that when you're working on your journey of trying to become better, dieting and exercising, it's just like they continue to come out with things that make you want to just cave and just, my diet, forget about how my body looks. I want to eat. The greed part of this world will always be like 5 steps ahead of us. And what sucks is that Girl Scout cookies are single-handedly, I don't know, I think I think Girl Scout cookies are from the devil, honestly. They're good too. They're good. They stand outside places where they know, like, it's so crazy the way they do it. They have the little children standing outside. Would you like to buy some cookies? Bro, Girl Scout cookies. Them Girl Scouts work harder than construction workers at 6 a.m., bro. You think you're safe. Next thing you know, a 9-year-old CEO with a square reader and a guilt strategy done already got you. You don't support your local business? Like, bro, who taught you this hustle? Like, teach me. I don't know who owns Girl Scout cookies, but whoever it is, they're winning in life. Whoever, they got inventory control, they got CRM, and they got eye contact. You're not buying cookies, you're buying moral relief. Like, the guilt tripping is probably the worst, bro. And then your mama and your daddy probably like make more than whatever you're making with this Girl Scout cookie stuff. Like, bro, shame on whoever decided to say, hey, Girl Scout cookies. We're gonna have all these little children selling Girl Scout cookies. Shame on them. You're teaching them business, but you're not teaching them business. You know what I'm saying? Hey, don't they call that child labor? Ain't that child labor? Got them out here hustling cookies. I do like them Girl Scout cookies though, man. The caramel, what is it, the caramel delights? Just be forewarned if you're going into a store, one of your favorite stores. It could be like a Kroger's or a Walmart or whatever it is. Oh, I don't have cash. I only got a credit card. That's okay. We have an app for the credit card. How you even know how to do that? Who taught you how to do that? I digress though, man. Crazy to me. I think the last thing I want to talk about is the Captain Durag, the Captain Durag debacle. See if I could find the actual problem. Let me see here. Okay, see real quick. So from what it says, ultra woke Disney's latest effort at diversity is dividing fans who rip the Tone Deaf Network for pushing a black superhero wearing a durag. Captain Durag, who debuted on January 15th, fights grime and in Slime City on Disney Junior show Hey AJ. His durag doubles as his cape and converts the upper portion of his face like a mask, and his eyes peeking through. The fabric hair covering is primarily associated with the black community. Obviously, I don't know if you could see this. Let me see if I can put that up there. That's what he looks like. The character was instantly slammed by viewers who were both furious and baffled by what they perceive as an overly stereotypical and offensive depiction of a black character. They made a Captain Durag in 2026. What the F, Disney? One man wrote on X, the concept of Captain Durag is widely tone deaf. Another agreed. I thought Captain Durag was made up internet hoax, but nope. LMA Disney really came up with that for Black History Month. My side hurts. I've been laughing so hard, someone wrote in disbelief. Everyone already said everything that needed to be said about Captain Durag being an abomination. Another wrote, adding that the character's creator is a black woman. I hope black parents use their voice to get this ish removed. Camille Corbell, the writer of Hey AJ, who created Captain Durag's character, was quick to defend her work. Watch the show, the Jamaican artist and comedian told him. As a scholar, I'd never speak on anything I've never experienced. I created the character Durag Man, not known as Captain Durag, on the Disney show Hey AJ, and I'm just finding out people are finding it problematic. I just wanted our culture to have a superhero of its own. Hey AJ creator and former NFL star Marcellus Bennett shared a detailed statement on Instagram explaining that the embattled character is a reflection of black life. So long story short, people are in outrage, which is so weird because it's, first of all, a black animated show that's by black creators, a football player and a man and a black man and a black woman created the show. And I'm sure there's black writers too. Can't we just enjoy what is being delivered? It's not being delivered in a malicious way from what I have gathered reading it. It's to preserve our history and teach our black children something that isn't something that's for us, by us. Why can't we just, it's like, I don't know. Sometimes the outrage be too much. Durags are part of our history. Has it been in a negative light? At times, yes, of course. Durags have been depicted in a very negative light in gangster movies and you know, stereotypical ways, of course. But I've never watched Hey AJ. I've never watched the show. I don't really watch animated series like that, but I would imagine it wasn't done in a way to make anybody feel offended. And I would hope that they would just continue to do their culture, their heritage in the utmost respectful way, like they've already been doing. You know, it's sometimes you can execute, but strategy can still produce a positive impact. You know, things can elevate as much as possible. So I would say it was good that they addressed it. They could have been creators that would just ignore it and just say, you know, it's a kid's show. Why should people be so enraged about it? But they took the time to at least address it, you know? So a few things, you know, comfort gathers crowds, truth isolates first. The question isn't, can you handle the truth? It's, can you handle being alone while you hold it. And that's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed this podcast. I tried my best. I want to keep it short as possible. If you liked it, leave me a like, subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next one.